Today we'll be presenting the integration project.
We know that our company has been considering to further develop JMessenger, but we propose that instead of updating and maintaining a proprietary communications tool, such as JMessenger, that we integrate an outsourced set of tools to meet the company needs for communication, collaboration, and data storage in a secure and easy way to manage. Through our research, we've been able to discover that we can save on resources and costs by first integrating to Google G Suite as a tool for our primary communication system. Next, we propose that programmers will be set up with GitHub Business Access, which can be hosted by them or by our company, which will allow for code-specific version tracking and show all commits, branches, and updates. We also propose that instead of an on-site server, that we secure data storage with an off-site data center to save on resources. That way we won't have to be upgrading hardware, but we'll have it maintained by those that we hire and wherever we outsource. Finally, we propose that we use existing hardware that our staff already uses and only purchase new as we expand. We feel that if we implement this project instead of going forward with JMessenger, that we'll be able to reduce costs and really be able to have an effective company. As we can see by our side-by-side feature comparison, JMessenger really doesn't stand up next to G Suite and GitHub Business. While JMessenger requires constant development to keep current, the software in G Suite and GitHub is maintained by the vendor and we are only required to download any updates. JMessenger is also known to be unwieldy and difficult to learn, while G Suite and GitHub are both easy to learn and adapt to. JMessenger requires the user to remember to retrieve communication, and if they don't, they'll lose efficiency and work by forgetting to click on the retrieve button and not receiving what has been sent to them, while G Suite and GitHub push new communications to users so that it comes through immediately. Not to mention that JMessenger requires a proprietary database to manage communications and logging, and database logging is managed by both G Suite and GitHub with security and archive so communications are not lost. As we move forward and talk about the quality and assurance standards of the proposed project, we notice that it is extremely functional. Knowing that it works on multiple systems and browsers, including mobile, it allows for secure login and authentication. It meets company needs, allowing for communication tracking and logging file changes. It's extremely reliable, especially knowing that both Google and GitHub are stable and mature companies, which are not likely to have major issues and offer 24/7 support. And they store backups on their servers, and backups are managed by them. It's also more efficient for us because we'd be able to outsource permanent cost savings by not needing additional on-site personnel. As we continue, it's important to note that usability is a great function as well. The software is easy to understand and intuitive to work with. It requires little training for users to begin working. It functions well on multiple systems, and it's a clean interface and easy to use and manipulate. As far as maintainability, analytics are included with the packages to track utilization, and software is kept updated and meeting current standards. As for portability, it works with other programs, allowing users to open files from other sources and allows for files to be downloaded in other formats. As we look at our economic assessment, we're able to note that there is a minor loss during the investment stage, but increasing in savings follows the next 5 years. We will have major savings by not needing to hire additional staff just to manage a proprietary system. We will also save money by using existing hardware and shifting to an off-site data center. We'll also note that we will be saving money with the software that we chose over other comparative options. As we move along and analyze the risk assessment, we'll be comparing risk against JMessenger with G Suite and GitHub. I wanted to start by noting the probability score across all of the categories there. We notice that JMessenger has a very high probability of the events occurring, while G Suite and GitHub both have low occurrences. If we look at what those risks could be, JMessenger would require software updates. Those software updates and the software alone causes a lot of job stress, which in turn could result in employee turnover. Not to mention, as discussed before, users will not receive messages quickly because they will have to push the receive button in order to see if anything was sent, and they won't be notified if anything was sent unless somebody lets them know within the work environment, since there's no way to message them through JMessenger itself. When it comes to G Suite and GitHub, our risks would be third-party server data loss, which would be horrible for our company, but again is a low probability of happening. Not to mention information security breach, server outages, or price changes. As you can see, as we compare the risks between JMessenger and G Suite, it really is pretty obvious that JMessenger comes with a lot more risks that would occur at a lot more frequent of a time, while G Suite is a lot more stable of an option. In order for this project to take place, we plan on implementing this plan. We proceed by integrating G Suite and GitHub into our operations, starting with the system engineers setting up the G Suite software for our company's needs, then adding the security roles, and finally creating or importing users into the system so that accounts are set up and ready for transition. We expect this to take 5 days, 3 for setup and 1 each for adding roles and users. This would be followed by the same process for GitHub. We would expect it to only take 4 days though, as it would only be set up for active programmers. The next stage of the integration would be introductory training for G Suite and GitHub. This would be conducted by the management staff while the system engineers begin backing up current data and accounts. We estimate that the backups of the current data in the system and the current email accounts would take about 4 days each, with a day of testing the imports before we proceed. We estimate that it would take 5 days to complete importing the data and another 5 days to import the email to the new system. The methodology that we have chosen in order to move forward with this project would be an agile type method called AIM, also known as Accelerating Implementation Methodology. We believe that this methodology will allow for us to have both the quickest and the most seamless of transitions to both Google's G Suite and GitHub business. We estimate it would take around 6 weeks to complete the changeover to the new systems, as we do not have a large number of users to transition. Our milestones will be measured weekly to make sure that we are completing all the processes during each phase. As for our team composition, to upgrade our current system and maintain the new system, we will need a team of system engineers. The team can be kept relatively small if they use an agile system such as Scrum, which is a method that allows the software to be built and maintained in a series of short iterations of work, thereby maximizing the individual output. The system engineers team would focus on 4 areas: code reviews, which would look for any obvious logic errors in the code, as well as making sure that all cases are fully implemented; test branching, which allows all the members of the team to work individually but in collaboration with each other using a central code base, thus allowing the work to be more easily split up and reducing wasted time and redundancy; continuous integration, which refers to checking for errors as you go and pausing development and addressing those breakages when they are found; regular release cadence means keeping the system up to date; and constantly upgrading the system keeps it running smoothly, keeps our company on the cutting edge, and may provide a competitive advantage over some less forward-thinking competitors. By employing the Agile method, we can accomplish all of this with as little as 3 system engineers. Using Google's G Suite and GitHub requires no additional manpower and can be easily set up and troubleshot by our existing system engineers. Finally, as we look at the use case diagrams, we can start here with JMessenger. As you can see in the diagram, the user interactions are overly complicated and inefficient. Users are required to click a button to receive incoming messages, which requires a lot of effort and remembering exactly when the user needs to click and what the user would be expecting. Overall, it's highly inefficient. As we look at Hangouts or G Suite's use case diagram, we can see that the user interactions are flexible and self-explanatory. They interact in an integrated fashion for easy user control. I hope you enjoyed our presentation today as we hope to move forward with the integration project, going away from JMessenger and moving forward with Google's G Suite and GitHub business. Thank you very much for your time.